So now, as we have completed the coordination in plants as well as the tropisms and the hormones in plants, we are going to move towards a new topic today, and that is hormones in animals. But first of all, let us revise the previous topic. Okay. So yesterday we did about the five tropisms in the plants and trees. The five tropisms were the change in the change in plant with respect to touch is known as thigmotropism. The change observed in the plant with respect to touch is known as thigmotropism. Okay. The next thing was the growth of plant in respect to sunlight is known as phototropism. Third one was the growth of plant in respect to water is known as hydrotropism, and the growth of plants with respect to the gravity of earth is known as geotropism, whereas the growth of plants with respect to the chemical change is known as chemotropism. It is known as chemotropism. Okay, I also gave you the example about the growth of the pollen grains and pollen tubes towards the ovule, which is an example of the chemotropism, which is an example of chemotropism. Okay, fine. We also did something about the hormones in plants. We also saw that there is an electrical as well as the chemical transfer communication system done between the plants and trees, but they don't have any nervous tissues nor the central nervous system and the human brain. Fine. Let us once again check about the hormones in plants. About the hormones in plants. So it's over here. When growing plant detects light, a hormone known as auxin, synthesized at the shoot tip, helps the cells to grow longer. Fine, auxin is the growth hormone which are responsible for the cells to grow longer. Okay, when the light is coming from one side of the plant, auxin diffuses towards the shady side of the shoots. The concentration of auxin stimulates the cells to grow longer on the side of the shoot which is away from the light. Thus, plant appears to bend towards light. And that is also known as phototropism. It is also known as phototropism. Fine, students. The next thing is plant hormones like gibberellins. Plant hormones is gibberellins, which are also similar like the auxin, helps in the growth of the stem. They helps in the growth of the stem. Okay, so auxin stimulates the growth of cells to grow longer, whereas the gibberellins are the cells hormones similar to auxin, but they are responsible for the growth of stem. They are responsible for the growth of stem. The next thing is cytokinins. Cytokinins provide cell division, and it is natural then that they are present in greater concentration and the areas of rapid cell division such as fruits and seeds. Fine. So once the plant is getting the proteins, nutrients, minerals and carbohydrates from the soil, water and sunlight, these cytokinins are responsible for the perfect cell division. They will give the energy needs to the fruits, seeds, etc. That means they are helping in the promoting of growth. They are the promoters of growth. Okay. The next thing is plant also needs signals to stop growing. That's, as I told you earlier, that we see that at a certain time interval or a certain age the plant stops growing. The plant stops growing. So this is also the example hormone of inhibiting the growth. That means that the plant growth will stop. Then which are the hormones that will stop the growth of the plants? And they are said to be abscisic acid. They are said to be abscisic acid. Okay. So we have seen the four hormones. Auxin, responsible for the cells to grow longer. Gibberellins, which are responsible for the growth of the stem. Cytokinins, which are responsible for the promote the cell division, and the last one was abscisic acid, which stops the growth of the plant, or we can say which inhibits the growth of the plant. Okay students, I hope you are clear with this. So in these questions they have given us that what are plant hormones. So what are plant hormones? The hormones which leads to the growth as well as the development of the plant are known as plant hormones. There are four types of various plant hormones. We studied that. Okay. The next question is, how is the movement of leaf of the sensitive plant different from the movement of a shoot towards the light? See, students, the movement of leaves of the sensitive plant is due to the thigmotropism, that is in response to touch. Remember, the movement of leaves of the sensitive plant is due to thigmotropism, that is in response to touch. Okay, and the movement of shoot towards light is due to the phototropism, because when the sunlight is coming, it will always direct towards the sunlight. Fine. So the movement of leaves of the sensitive plant is due to the thigmotropism in response to touch, and the movement of a shoot towards the light is due to the growth of a flower or a stem in the direction of a sunlight. So that is also known as phototropism. That is also known as phototropism. Fine. Give an example of a plant hormone that promotes growth. What is that? Give an example of a plant hormone that promotes growth. So students, it is given over here, cytokinins. Okay, cytokinins also promote cell divisions, and it is natural that they are present in the greater concentrations in the areas of rapid cell division, such as in fruits and seeds. And so these are the examples of promoter, also known as growth promoters of plants. So answer is cytokinins. The fourth question is, how do auxins promote the growth of tendrils around a support? See students, it is given over here on the paragraph written of activity 7.2, and right from here, when growing plant detects light, when growing plant detects a light, a hormone called auxin synthesized at the shoot tip helps the cells to grow longer. When light is coming from one side of the plant, auxin diffuses towards the shady side of the shoots. This concentration of the auxin stimulates the cell to grow longer on the side of the shoot which is away from the light. The concentration of auxin stimulates the cell to grow longer on the side of the shoot which is away from the light. Fine, I hope you understand this. And the last question we don't need to solve, leave that as it is, because it is an experiment to demonstrate the hydrotropism. That won't come in exam. So students, you need to pay attention over the 4 questions I have solved you. Okay, if you are having any doubts, then you please let me know. Okay. Fine. So now let us move on to the last topic of this chapter, and that is hormones in animals. Now as we have seen the hormones in plants, there are also various types of hormones found in animals, okay, which are responsible for the growth and the maturization of the human body. How are such chemical or a hormonal means of information transmission used in animals? What do some animals, for instance squirrels, experience when they are in a scary situation? Their bodies have to prepare for either fighting or running away. Both are very complicated activities that will use a great deal of energy in controlled ways. Fine. So they are taking the example of the scary situation of any animals and what they need to do. Either they need to fight or either they need to run away. Okay. So many different tissues types will be used and their activities integrated together in these actions. The two alternative activities, fighting or running, are quite different, but there is a situation in which some common preparations can be usefully made in the body. This preparation should ideally make it easier to do either activity in the near future. Okay, so if the body design in the squirrel relied only on electrical impulses via nerve cells, the range of tissues instructed to prepare for the coming activity would be limited, and chances are there that she might be died. Okay, in the scary situation. So the electrical impulses and the nerve cells are not dependent on the scary situation. there might be another thing or a new thing also known as hormone which are responsible to act upon this. Okay, let us read that. On the other hand, if a chemical signals were to be sent as well, it would reach all cells of the body and provide the wide-ranging changes needed. This is done in many animals, including human beings, and so using a hormone called adrenaline that is secreted from the adrenaline glands. Find the hormone used at the time of scary time or in the emergence is known as adrenaline hormones, and that is also known as, and it is secreted from adrenaline glands. It is secreted from adrenaline glands. Fine students, I hope you are clear with this. Human beings, each and every animals have this type of hormones at the time of sudden instance or an emergency, or at the time when we are scared, we use these adrenaline hormones. At that time, what function happens that we will read over here. Please note this thing, the whole paragraph you need to write. If they are asking us that write a short note on adrenaline glands, or they will be asking you that how the adrenaline glands is secreted. Okay, so please pay attention over here because this is necessary. Adrenaline is secreted directly into the blood and carried to the different parts of the body. Adrenaline is secreted directly into the blood and carried to the different parts of the body. The target organs or the specific tissues on which it acts include the heart. The heart beats faster, resulting in the supply of more oxygen to our muscles. Okay, so I am reading from the first. You please note that adrenaline is always secreted directly into the blood and carried to the different parts of the body. The target organs or the specific issues on which it acts include the heart. Heart beats faster, resulting in supply of more oxygen to our muscles. The blood to the digestive system and skin is reduced due to the contraction of the muscles around small arteries in these organs. This diverts the blood to our skeletal muscles. The breathing rate also increases because of the contractions of the diaphragm and the rib muscles. All these responses together enable the animal body to be ready to deal with the situation. Such animal hormones are a part of endocrine system which constitutes a second way of control and coordination in human beings. Okay students, I hope you are clear with this. So what are the main functions of the adrenaline when it is secreted? It will always target the organs of the specific tissues, which also includes heart. So the heartbeats gets faster. There will be more supply of the oxygen to the muscles. The blood to the digestive system and the skin is reduced, and thus this diverts the blood to our skeletal muscles. The breathing rate also increases because of the contractions of the diaphragm and rib muscles. This response together enables the animal to be ready to deal with any situation, and such hormones are a part of endocrine system. You please note that students, that such hormones are a part of endocrine system which constitutes a second way of control and coordination in our body. Okay, I hope you are clear with this students. If you are having any doubts, then please let me know. Remember that plants have hormones that control their directional growth. What functions do animal hormones perform? On the face of it, we cannot imagine their role in directional growth. We have never seen an animal growing more in one direction or the other. There is always the equal proportion in all the direction of the growth of the animals, depending on the light or gravity. But if we think about it a bit more, it will become evident that even in animal bodies, growth only happens in carefully and controlled places. As I told you the example of the fingers growing in the one direction yesterday. Okay, now the human fingers are not growing in any directions. Then it would look very weird. Okay, so but each and every organs are only growing in a specific direction. So plants will live in many places of the plant body, but we do not grow fingers on our faces. The design of the body is carefully maintained even during the growth of the children. Even during the growth of the children. See students, over here in the figure there are two forms of male and female hormonal given. Let us see that is the hypothalamus, pineal glands and pituitary glands. As I told you that the pituitary gland is responsible for the growth of each and every hormones. Then there is a thyroid gland that we are going to study just now, a parathyroid gland and a thymus. Then comes the pancreas and the adrenaline glands. Okay, so adrenaline glands are located near the kidneys. The adrenaline glands are located near the kidneys. Fine, and the last one is testes, which are responsible for the male sex organs. So over here in female, hypothalamus and pineal glands, pituitary glands, parathyroid glands, thyroid glands, thymus, pancreas and adrenaline. Each and everything is same as that of a male in females also. The only change over here is the ovary, which is also the sex hormone for the female. Okay students, I hope you are clear with this. Now let us get into the deep of these hormones. Okay. So let us see that. Let us examine some examples to understand how hormones help in coordinated growth. We have all seen salt packets which says iodized salt enriched with iodine. Fine, we have seen that iodine yukt namak. Have you ever read that on the Tata Salt or any other salt companies? Okay, so that is iodized salt or the salt containing iodine. So that is salt containing iodine. Why is it important for us to have iodized salt in our diet? Iodine is necessary for thyroid gland to make thyroxine hormones. Please remember that iodine is necessary for the thyroid gland to make thyroxine hormone. Thyroxine regulates carbohydrates, proteins and fats metabolism in the body so as to provide the best balance for growth. Okay, thyroxine regulates carbohydrates, proteins and fat metabolism in the body so as to provide the best balance for the growth. You please need to note that what does thyroxine regulate? Thyroxine always regulates the carbohydrates, proteins and fat metabolism in the body. Iodine is essential for the synthesis of thyroxine. Iodine is essential for the synthesis of thyroxine. In case iodine is deficient in our diet, there is possibility that we might suffer from goiter. Okay, so there is an iodine deficiency or efficiency. If more proportion of the iodine is also taken, then also there are chances that we may suffer from thyroid. And the goiter is a disease also known as swollen neck. One of the symptoms for the thyroid goiter is swollen neck. The neck becomes big. Okay. Sometimes we come across people who are either very short, also known as dwarf, or extremely tall, that are known as giants. Okay, sometimes we come across people who are either very short, said to be a dwarf, or extremely tall, said to be giants. Have you ever wondered how this happens? The growth hormone is one of the hormones secreted by pituitary glands. Growth hormone is one of the hormones secreted by pituitary glands. As its name indicates, growth hormone regulates the growth and development of the body. If there is a deficiency of the hormone in childhood, it is also known as dwarfism. You have seen many types of people having heights very less, or say 2-3 feet or maximum 4 feet, then they lead to dwarfism. And if the height of the individual human being is more than the normal height, that is say 6 to 7 feet, then that is also said to be a gigantism, also known as giants. Okay students, I hope you are clear with this and you are not having any doubts. So what is responsible for that? That is pituitary glands. The growth hormone is one of the hormones secreted by pituitary glands. As its name indicates, growth hormone regulates growth and development of the body. If there is a deficiency of hormone in childhood, it leads to the dwarfism. You must have noticed many dramatic changes in your appearance as well as that of your friends as you approach 10 to 12 years of age. These 10 to 12 years of age is also said to be the age of puberty. These changes associated with the puberty are because of the secretion of testosterone in males and estrogen in females. You please note that, students, that the age of 10 to 12 years where the appearance of the changes in body is seen is due to the age of puberty, and this is because of the secretion of testosterone in males and estrogen in females. Okay. Do you know anyone in your family or friends who has been advised by the doctor to take less sugar in the diet because they are suffering from diabetes? Because they are suffering from diabetes. As a result, they might be taking injections of insulin. Okay, so a hormone which is produced by the pancreas and helps in regulating blood sugar levels. This is a hormone which is produced by the pancreas and helps in regulating blood sugar levels. If it is not secreted in proper amounts, the sugar level in the blood rises, causing many harmful effects. This may also lead to cause many harmful effects. Okay, students, so diabetes, to control diabetes, there is an insulin. Insulin is a hormone which is produced by the pancreas and helps in regulating blood sugar levels. Helps in regulating blood sugar levels. If it is not secreted in proper amounts, the sugar level in the blood rises, causing many harmful effects. It is so important that the hormones should be secreted in a very precise quantities. We need a mechanism through which it is done. The timing and amount of hormones released are regulated by a feedback mechanism. If the sugar level in the blood rises, they are detected by the cells of pancreas. Okay, so there is a feedback mechanism which will send a message back that either the hormones secreted are less in equal amount what we need, or they are more. Okay, so they are detected by the cells of the pancreas which respond by producing more insulin. As the blood sugar level falls, insulin secretion is reduced. Insulin secretion is reduced. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, so over here also there are 4 questions given. Let us see that. Why does chemical coordination take place in animals? The chemical coordination takes place in animals because where the brain, nervous tissues as well as the structure of neurons won't interpret the total amount of messages what we need, and thus the chemical coordination is taking place. Okay. Why is the use of iodized salt advisable? So it is given over here, students. Why is the iodized salt advisable? See, iodine is necessary for the thyroid gland to make thyroxine hormones. Now these thyroxine are also responsible to regulate carbohydrates, proteins and fat metabolism in the body to provide the balance for the growth, and thus iodine is essential for the synthesis of thyroxine. And if there is a deficiency of iodine, a people may also suffer from goiter. The symptoms of the goiter is, I told you, the swollen neck. Third question is, how does our body respond when adrenaline is secreted into the blood? As I told you earlier, students, okay, at the whole paragraph you need to write that adrenaline is secreted directly into the blood and carried to the different parts of the body. The target organs or the specific tissues on which acts include the heart. Heart beats faster, resulting into the supply of more oxygen to our muscles. Blood to the digestive system and skin is reduced due to the contraction of muscles. Diverts the blood to our skeletal muscles. The breathing rate also increases because of the contractions of diaphragm and rib muscles. All these responses together enable the animal body to deal with any situations. Fine, students, I hope you are clear with this. Why are some patients of diabetes treated by giving the injections of insulin? The injections of the insulins are given, see it is written over here, that the injections of the insulins are taken to control the sugar level in our body. Fine, to control the sugar level in our body, because the rise in the sugar level can also lead to the diabetes. Fine, let us see, take a note at what you have learned. The first point was the control and the coordination are the functions of the nervous system and hormones in our bodies. The next thing was the response of nervous system can be classified as a reflex action, voluntary action, or involuntary action. There are three types of nervous systems in nervous system: reflex action, voluntary, and involuntary actions. The nervous system uses electrical impulses to transmit messages. Nervous system gets information from our sense organs and acts through our muscles. Chemical coordination is seen in both plants and animals. Chemical coordination is seen in both the plants and animals. Okay. Hormones produced in one part of an organism move to the another part to achieve the desired effect. And the last one is the feedback mechanism that regulates the action of hormones. Let us have an MCQ over here. Which of the following is a plant hormone? Insulin, thyroxine, estrogen, or cytokinin? Of course the cytokinins, because insulin, thyroxine and estrogen are the human hormones. They are the human hormones. The gap between two neurons is known as synapse. As we all know that the gaps between two neurons is known as synapse. Okay. And the last one is the brain is responsible for thinking, regulating the heartbeats, balancing the body, or all of the above. Of course, the brain is responsible for each and everything over here. So we will write that brain is responsible for all of the above. That is thinking, regulating the heartbeat, balancing the body, all of the above. Rest of all the questions we will do it tomorrow, students. Okay. Second answer is, I am repeating, synapse. And which of the following is a plant hormone? Then answer will be cytokinins. Today you need to complete the all 8 questions I give. The 4 questions over here. You also need to write a short note on the hormones in human beings, as well as the 4 questions that was given over here. Fine. If you are having any doubt and queries, you please let me know. We have completed this chapter. Now we will be going on towards the numericals of the chapter number 10, which you all were having doubt. Okay, I hope you are clear with all these things. Thank you.